Hey guys. Why'd I do that? I was going for something new. Didn't work. All right. Hello and welcome. You're listening to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly wargame and board game podcast. I'm Shane, as always, joined by my co-host Fox.
What's up?
And today is episode 6 of season 2, and we're jumping back into our journey into Test of Honor series. We're going to recap what our original plans were for the series and how that's changed due to restrictions. We'll let you know our new plans and where each of us are up to with our Test of Honor projects.
That's right. We're kickstarting the series again. It's been a while since we've done a Test of Honor episode, actually, because of all the things that we'll discuss. So we thought it was time to readdress and let you guys know where we're at. For those of you who are new or unfamiliar with this particular series, our Journey Into series is something where Shane and I discuss and discover a game together, and we sort of like document our journey. We'll take the game from discovery all the way up to reviewing the game, and depending on the depth of the game, that could take however many episodes, but it's just a good opportunity for other people too. If they like the sound of the game, you can journey with us. You can jump in our Discord and listen to these episodes, and yeah, we can explore this Test of Honor universe together.
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of different channels in our Discord. One of them is purely for Test of Honor. We get a lot of guys posting their progress pics in there. One of our patrons, Foggy Highway, is just killing it with the Test of Honor stuff, posting new miniatures every day, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. At least. It's awesome. And actually the illustrator for the game, the person that does all the artwork for the game, Carmen, jumps in there every now and then and posts a few of his new sketches and stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So it's a good, like, if you're a Test of Honor fan, like maybe you already play the game, please jump in our Discord. You can find the link for it on hobbyhomies.com and show us your pictures, show us your models. Part of us discovering this game is also discovering other people who play it already and have experience with it.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Jump in there. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Yep.
So at this point of the episode, you're probably thinking, what on earth is Test of Honor? I've never heard of such a thing. So it's basically just a little tabletop skirmish game, which is a game played with just a handful of miniatures, anywhere between 5 and 15. You know, it's not a massive army game. You don't have to buy 200 models and paint them up and spend thousands of dollars. You just have to have a handful, spend $50 to $150 on them. And yeah, this one's set in feudal Japan, around the 15 to 1600s, the Sengoku period specifically.
That's the one.
That's the one. And yeah, the game features samurai and ashigaru, which are like smaller, lighter armored samurai, I guess, in look anyways. They're like foot soldiers.
Yeah. Some of the models are just insane, like the mounted samurai as well, the mounted ashigaru.
Yeah.
Like on horseback.
Yeah.
That's just so cool.
Yeah, so you've got like bowmen and spearmen and people with muskets, but the muskets are old, so if you shoot with them, it takes a turn to reload, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, we just love it because, I mean, I froth anything Japan. I'm an absolute weeboo. Weebo?
Oh, God.
I don't even know what it is.
Why am I just learning about this now, dude?
You didn't know what a weeb is?
No.
Oh, man. Man, that's a different episode.
Is that something to do with hentai?
It can be.
Okay.
It can be.
Okay.
I think that's the beginning of all weebs' journeys. So we've given people a lot to Google tonight.
True.
So we chose Test of Honor because we wanted to find a new game that neither of us had heard of, that was relatively niche, maybe by an indie developer. We didn't really know. We just sort of had a little potter around the interwebs, and we were like, it has to be a skirmish game because we want something that's not going to, require all of our time and energy.
Yeah, 40K already does that.
Totally. Yeah, we're big 40K players, so we're like, we can't support a whole nother system of that scale.
No.
But a skirmish game is perfect because you only need a handful of models. Because it's a niche game, we don't have to go to tournaments every weekend. It's just a fun little side project type thing.
Yeah. And we hope to do these Journey into series fairly often, I suppose. Like once we, like Fox said earlier, we'll start from the discovery right through to the end, hopefully including battle reports. And then we might move on to another Journey into series, which could be anything, depends what comes out in the future.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. And like after we finish, I think we'll probably finish all not Test of Honor series, all Journey into series with a review of the game.
Yeah, definitely.
And sort of how we feel about it after journeying into it, playing games, doing battle reports, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We'll give our experienced review, and then it will either fall to the wayside if we go, not great, or it will become one of the main games we talk about on the podcast because we're constantly playing it.
Yeah, yep.
And then we'll start a new Journey into series on who knows what next. I've got some stuff I want to do. Anyways, I won't get ahead of myself. So, look, if skirmish games are your jam and you want to discover this game with us, or you want to jump in the Discord and contribute to this discovery that we're going on, tune in and we'll recap what our new plans for this series are, because we had some old ones that have since had to change due to restrictions and me and Shane not being able to see each other. So we've sort of created a new plan for the game.
Yeah. So basically we had so much planned, and then COVID did its thing and ruined everything, like it's been doing.
Literally everything, every facet of life. It was just like, you enjoyed something? Nah.
Not anymore. Yeah. So we actually, courtesy to our patrons, we ordered a whole bunch of terrain, and with the intention of building a nice big board to battle over with our painted Test of Honor miniatures. We also wanted to do a time-lapse video of us making the board, so which would basically just be a camera stuck to the wall and just let it roll and slap it all together and get this board done in a weekend, but can't do that anymore.
No, we were so excited to just set it 24 hours, 48 hours aside and just have a blank board, and from that create a full, feudal Japan themed kind of table. Yeah,
we even sort of started planning it out with like a little village with a river, rice paddies, all that sort of stuff. But
I think I drew a map of it at some stage.
I'm pretty sure you did, yeah. It will happen. It's just had to go on the back burner for a little while. But like I've started getting into my Test of Honor miniatures today. I built a few more, based some. Haven't slapped any paint on there just yet, but that is my plans for my next week off. We've all got plans of battle reports, filming a series of us learning the game, playing linked missions like 1 through 6, like a campaign sort of thing, and ultimately a nice big review at the end of the journey. Yeah.
So all of that was our original plan. Some of that has changed. Things like the review of the game will still happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, due to, it was just a terrible time. We started the series, we did 2 episodes, we had all these aspirations, then COVID hit, and then we tried to launch season 2, which for us was like a new website. It was new everything. It was new music, new website, new images. It was like organizing, doubling everything. We started doing 2 episodes a week, 2 giveaways a month. It was heaps. And Warhammer 40k 9th edition, the new edition of the rules launched as well.
Yeah.
And and then COVID, obviously. So because we can't see each other, we're in 2 different areas. We're basically quarantined from each other.
Yeah, I'm in stage 4 lockdowns here in the Melbourne region, and you're in Geelong in stage 3. And there's a full-on like border checkpoint crossing to get through to each other, which is just insane. Yeah. Like a freeway which we drive like daily, they've actually closed it, and cars going through one at a time. Like it's just
It's pretty wild. It's something really from a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then lockdown got extended, that sort of stuff. That just stuffed our plans completely when we thought we were coming back to it. Actually, our last Journey Into episode was our first one back in the studio after lockdown.
Oh,
if you
there
remember.
you go.
And I was so hyped to be back in there, kicking it off strong. And then we were going to roll on to the season 2 launch as well. And I went back on the dumpster again. So,
Man, it's been chaos. I mean, we're so lucky, obviously, that we can keep doing this. And other people aren't in such a good,
Yeah.
considering all things considered, we're in a good spot.
Yeah.
But as far as the plans for this particular series went, it copped it the hardest.
Oh, it did. Out of everything, it definitely copped it the hardest, because I suppose this one is one where it relied on us being able to, like, actually travel and see each other the most. A lot of our other stuff we still could do from a distance, but this one would have involved like a whole weekend of building the board and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and not to mention the entire linked battle series that we planned on doing.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's in the rule book. It's like this, I would say it's a bit of a slow grow campaign of sorts, where you start with about 6 miniatures for the first mission, and it intros the basics of the game. And then the next mission, you have more miniatures and it introduces a few more things of the game. So when we talk about these linked battles, it's the campaign that's in the book that teaches you how to play effectively.
It's actually really clever to do something like that, to introduce. It's like a tutorial on a video game, it doesn't give you everything in once. It starts off small and it introduces new things each stage. So it's actually a really clever way to do it, and to turn it into a campaign as well, not just like a tutorial game, which no one likes playing the tutorial game in the front of the book. But this one sounds fun.
If it's the first time I've ever played a video game and it's like, do you want to do the tutorial? I'm like, I think I'll figure it out. I've played a couple video games. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then you just like, you spend the next 2 hours like, how do I do this? Must be a way of getting over this wall. I don't know.
Exactly.
Stupid game.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, this series did cop it the hardest. So we've since reassessed what we can realistically do, because we just don't. If we keep going, all right, we'll leave Test of Honor until we're out of lockdown to stick with our original goals, we might not be talking about this game for another year. Who knows?
It's going to get forgotten about, and that's the last thing we want. So
no,
whether this episode, it's probably not going to cover a whole lot of new, exciting information, but it's more like a recap, and just want to let you guys know that it hasn't been forgotten about. We love Test of Honor, and we really want to just give it what it deserves, I suppose, which is going to be difficult, but we'll get there.
Yeah. I've actually, as I sit down and record this now, the only models I can see in my peripheral vision are my Test of Honor models.
Yep.
And 3 of them are painted, which is wild.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, so our new plan for the series, moving forward with COVID restrictions, is for now, I mean, we did buy some trees and houses and terrain, and we got a battle mat off Dave, the 40K tournament organizer, one of our patrons. He didn't give it to us. He's lent it to us. We don't own it. But I think after 6 months, if we still have it, it's basically ours.
Yeah.
Is that how spotting works?
That's how the rules work, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. So we've got all the stuff. So I'll work on the table because it's all here. I'll do bits and pieces and we'll work on the table. We'll make as much terrain as we can so that it's ready for when we actually can play games.
Yeah.
So there'll be no delay. The second they go, okay, once the Prime Minister comes out and says, Shane and Fox, you guys, you can see each other again. We'll be like, all right. We'll also paint as many Test of Honor models as we can so that we got a nice variety of different troop options. I've got just a stupid amount of models right now.
Yeah. Man, you got you got the whole new, all the Great for Now Games miniatures, the Footsore miniatures, and those plastic ones.
Yep. I have every single miniature that you can buy on the Test of Honor website, as well as more, as well as about 100 and something more.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about that in a second. So we'll paint as much as we can, because then it'll be cool if, Shane, you bring your more range-orientated army. Orientated? I don't know. Your ranged army. Yeah. I might go, all right, for the viewers of the battle report, I might bring a couple more melee things. I'll be able to completely customize my thing, but I want them painted.
Yeah.
That has to happen.
Yeah, dude.
And we'll also research the rules together and watch as much playthroughs as we can, so that whereas before we were thinking we'll do the linked series and discover the rules as well, I think what will actually be better for people watching and wanting to understand the game is if we understand the rules really well. And now that we've got time up our sleeve, that's the least we could do. So we'll get a firm grip of the rules so that when we actually play through that series, there's less about us making mistakes and more about like actual gameplay.
Yeah. That's actually, it's really frustrating to watch a video and like when they don't know the rules. So yeah. I mean, you can't expect everyone to know everything, but like, you see it sometimes and it gets me upset.
It's actually pretty huge because I'd watch like a battle report for 40k, for example, and like the game, Tyranids would win and I'd be like, yeah, okay, sweet. That looks like a really strong unit. And then someone in the comments would be like, actually, you played this rule wrong. And it completely would have changed the outcome of the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are little things where you're like, one roll. But a lot of the time, like when you've got two equally matched people playing a competitive game, those little rule discrepancies are the difference.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
Originally, I was like, it'd be cool if we like the audience who watches these linked battles discovers the rules as we do and we fumble around with them and, I was like, that'll be fun. And now I'm like, no, that's stupid. They would hate that. Yeah. I would hate that. Yeah. So instead, we're going to use this time apart. We've both got copies of the rule book. Basically, I'll learn the rules as best as I can and I'll just throw it all at you, Shane. And you'll be like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'll be like, yeah, but I'm going to tell you every day how it works. So eventually. The goal is basically to have everything ready to go. So that the second that we can see each other, we're playing with painted models on a great board with a firm understanding of the rules.
Yeah.
Whilst we can't provide the original video content that we planned on doing, in the meantime, we'll try and pump... we owe our Patreons a video a month because of the goal that we hit on that. So we're going to try and do some Test of Honor videos in the meantime so that you've got some sort of content. It could be things like painting videos, just us painting our models, or little tips and tricks, product reviews if we buy different Test of Honor models.
Yeah.
Rules overviews, just little things.
I might even do a basing video or something.
Yes.
Something like that. I've primed and textured these minis, so I might paint them and then do a video on the bases or something. I know I've got a lot in mind for my Japanese sort of style bases, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm especially excited to see your basing videos in general, but more so your Japan themed basing videos. Yeah. So I got a rough idea of what I want to do. But what I'm actually battling with at the moment is picking my, I guess you'd call it, scheme for my army. I've been looking at all the different clans, like the historical clans, and I sort of want to somewhat keep it like true to that. I know I could probably paint it up in my own scheme and just make up my own clan, like, I don't know, the Kawasaki clan or something like that. No. No one would allow that.
Okay, what about Fujitsu?
The Mitsubishi clan.
Yeah, something like that, man. Okay. Panasonic or something, I don't know. And then I can have them whatever color I want, have the banner whatever I want. But I've been looking at a little bit of history. I was doing some research for this episode, actually. Then I somehow started watching the history of Japanese castles.
Oh, yeah.
And that was off topic quite a lot, but educational.
But, interesting.
Yeah, it was. Actually, it really was. But the Hojo clan is one I've been looking at.
Hojo?
Yeah. The only thing, like, I was reading a bit of their history. Apparently, they were pretty vicious, like pretty bloodthirsty. But their banner looks kind of like, just reminds me of The Legend of Zelda, which I'm not a fan of.
Oh, yeah, the triangle.
The triangle thing, yeah. So I was like, kind of ruins it for me because everyone will look at it and be like, that's Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, I put the Test of Honor stuff on the back burner, but I've put it all out now and I've started building it again, basing, priming, all that sort of stuff, ready to go to slap some paint on there in the next couple of days.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I actually just looked up the Hojo clan, and you're right. It is, it's those 3 triangles. I forget what that's called.
The Triforce or something?
The Triforce. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Well, they ruled until 1333, so that's well before the Sengoku period. So
Interesting.
I'm glad you didn't choose to go with those. So you can throw those in the bin.
Okay. All right.
Historically, you can throw them in the bin.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing about Test of Honor and the Sengoku period that it takes place, just making up words 24/7, place during, is it's probably the most romanticized era of Japanese history that there is.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, there is so much creative freedom within that era. You know, you could say, yes, most people think the Hojo clan ruled until 1333, but actually,
Yeah.
this is this is the last remaining son of, I'm trying to find a name here, but I don't have any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. They could have hidden back once 1333 came, they got toppled or whatever, and they've like moved in the backlight.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Maybe they ditched their family name and rule and became monks, and now it's more of a monk orientated clan.
Yeah.
Whatever, Yeah, that's the cool thing about it. It could still feel historically accurate, but also give you creative freedom, which is nice.
That is a good blend. That is because it's normally one way or the other. So to have that blend there is nice.
Yeah, it's good. It helps. It helps a lot because then if you're purely historical, you can make if you just live and breathe feudal Japan and you know every ruler of every region of every clan during that entire time. Yeah. Great. You can stay true to that. But if you're more like us and you're a little bit hazy on the exact, everyone's hazy on the exacts because it was so long ago. True. You weren't there, man.
No. So what's your progress been like?
Well, despite how little I've done hobby-wise, I froth this game. It's always the game where I'm like, I'm doing a project and I do it so that I can paint Test of Honor minis. So I'll be like, look, my priority is I've got to get this 40k unit or army done for this upcoming thing. But then after that, I can do Test of Honor minis.
Yeah.
Or I've got to finish these Patreon models because they've been Patrons for a month now. It's due. It's time. I've done bits and pieces. It's time to finish them off. And then after that, I can paint Test of Honor minis.
So what you're saying is your Test of Honor minis are your carrot on a stick.
Absolutely. I hate carrots, but yeah, if I was a horse, totally my carrot on a stick.
You're just dangling it in front of you and you're just chomping at it, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's my dessert if I want to eat the crappy veggies and the overcooked steak. I will, because afterwards I get my Test of Honor minis. So, yeah, I've still only painted my 3 test models, which are Ashigaru Spearman, or Yari, I should say. Oh crap, is it Yari or Yumi? I've had a beer brain guzzle, but that's fine. Spearman. Yeah. And the 3 of them are painted, which is for the first battle that we do, half an army, which is nice. But they're the Footsore minis, which we'll talk about the difference in the miniatures some other time. We've already rehashed it, I think, on our last episode.
Yeah, I think we went into pretty good detail on it too, the last episode.
Yeah, so of all the minis I have, which are Footsore, some Warlord Games ones, and the Test of Honor official ones, Grey for Now Games ones, these are the worst in quality. So I wanted to paint them first because I was like, it's only up from here.
True.
And I also wanted to see, because I've never painted metal models it looked like there was missing details or whatever. They'd melted or whatever. So I was like, I wonder what it actually looks like when I throw a primer and throw some paint on them. Anyways, so I painted those 3. Pretty happy with them. I'll throw them on the table. And I've got a few more models primed, but I recently bought a massive box of, it's like a Warlord Games Samurai starter set. And it's got oodles of plastic models.
Yeah.
So that's sort of, I mean, as far as those 3 models go, that's all I've done. I've also got all my terrain over to my left. So that's all ready to go on to start building that. But yeah, and I've got some Test of Honor minis, like Great for Now Games minis I want to paint. But I feel like I keep treading water. Like I get them out, I get them ready, I get excited about them, and then I'm like, actually, no, I need to do this project first.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I suppose it's probably intimidating as well, too, because they're the best of the minis that they produce. And, like, the sculpts on them is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So I suppose you probably want to, like, I mean, you obviously want to do the best job that you can do on them, so I can understand the intimidation there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a combination of that, because those Great for Now Games minis are insane. They're metal, and they've got that, like, there's something so nice about having metal models and the weight of them, and they just feel cool. You can't do as much conversion. You can't do any conversions, really, unless you're super ambitious.
Yeah, true.
But, yeah, the quality of them is phenomenal. And you're right, I want to make sure I've got my test scheme down pat, and I know what I want to do with them before I throw paint on.
Yeah.
Because they take a long time to get here, and the postage is pretty expensive. So that's half the reason I actually bought this massive Warlord Games box of 100 and something Ashigaru and Samurais, so I can like test schemes, and it doesn't matter if I mess it up because there's 40 or 20 spearmen, or 40, I can't remember.
Wow. Yeah.
Is it? Oh gosh, the box is behind me, but I don't want to turn around.
Nah.
I think it's 40 spearmen, 40 bowmen, and 20 samurai on foot, and like 10 on a horse. It's insane.
Yeah, there's just so many models in there.
Yeah, so I'll be able to play around with those, paint those, and then when I'm ready, I've ordered some of the new Sohai monks, and I've got some of the scouts from Great for Now Games, and I'll finally hit those. But anyways, all that hopefully will be done by the time we actually can play games.
Yeah.
Speaking of that Warlord Games starter set, I actually think that's a really good place for people to start if they just want to get some minis on the table and start playing the game. You could buy this box. You would have to still buy the rules from Great for Now Games. They've got a game set on there, which has the rule book, all the token, everything you need.
Yeah.
The cards. You get that and this box here, and that's a good starting force. You'll have Samurai, and you'll have Ashigaru, and you'll have it in spades. You'll be able to play around with different schemes. As far as the plastic models go, you can do conversions, you can do all that kind of stuff. And then when you sort of get into the game and into the thematics of the game, you will then be able to go to Great for Now, testofhonor.com, which is owned by Great for Now Games, and buy their scouts, which is just some of the coolest models you'll get.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll be able to buy their new monks, which are coming out like now, which is awesome. And you can sort of tweak your army. They've got Unlikely Allies too, which is about 8 different characters.
That's my favorite one out of all of them. The Unlikely
It's
Allies.
so good.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
There's like the geisha, and then all these like randoms.
Yeah,
They're
they're all like there's a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, there's like 8 different characters that you can throw in your army, which is really cool. So if you were going all in for the Ashigaru and Samurai, like real generic characters, you could get this set, and then you would get the scouts, the monks, and the Unlikely Allies from testofhonor.com. And then that's what I've got anyways. And then with all that, you've got the rules, everything you need to play. You've got those sweet Great for Now Games characters and models, and then you've got your general foot slogging things in plastic as well. So
Yeah.
you got heaps of options. The footsore minis are fine, we really liked the historical aspect of them, like being cast from like a hand sculpted model. That's really cool. But as far as the quality and the ability to convert them, I prefer this Warlord Games box over the footsore stuff. But that's personal preference. If you like metal models, you can get everything you need on testofhonor.com, which is good.
Yeah, dude.
Some other content we found was there's a YouTube channel called The Shogunate, which is just if you're into the actual era and you want to learn a bit more about the historical aspect of it. That website sort of covers that website. I just did I went full boomer on that one.
How old are you, dude?
Their website, www.youtube.com. I believe it's some sort of fandangled video sharing thing. I think there's over 100 videos on there. Yeah. So the YouTube channel, The Shogunate, it has really cool art, which is why I like it. You can listen to a video, learn a bit about... We're not affiliated with this, by the way, whatsoever. Yeah, you can watch it, learn a bit about the history, but I really liked the art. I was looking at the still images on the screen. I was like, that there... I'd pause it and I'd be like, that's a cool paint scheme.
Yeah.
So if you're after paint schemes, Shane, get around it.
That's actually where I was watching the videos I was doing for the research for this episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
The castles one?
Yeah, it's on there, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I feel like I saw that one advertised too. I don't know why.
I think it's fairly recent, like...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The castles look so dope. Anyways.
Oh, man, they're cool.
So everything you need for this game is on testofhonor.com. You can get the rules PDF, which is awesome. I think there's like a getting started thing on there now as well. When we first got into it, we were kind of like, we had to email Graham, the owner of Great for Now Games. We were like, just don't really understand how many points I need. Like, I don't know where to start because we jumped in second edition. Whereas he was like, the game kind of, he kind of built it for the people carrying across from first edition to second edition.
Yeah.
And so people like us that jumped in, we had no idea. And since then, he's done the PDF version of the rules. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can buy that, download that, and read it straight away. And he's also got a getting started thing on there as well, which is dope.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's super exciting to have the PDF rules available online. Because that's what we got first before our shipment actually arrived. So it was good to look over that first.
Yeah, it was good. And when we made our original order, the PDF didn't exist.
No.
Like the digital rules. We were just like, well, what do we do now while we wait for our order from merry old England?
Yeah.
Twiddle our thumbs is all we can do.
Yeah.
And then he released that not long after, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the rules for it. I've been flicking through them. But I feel like at first I thought it was going to be a very shallow game. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
I think my impressions of it was if you pick up a card for a unit, it's just got a bunch of symbols on it with numbers, and we're used to 40k codex sheets.
Oh, yeah, stat lines and everything.
Sheets. Oh,
yeah.
And I was like, I mean, it must be shallow. It doesn't have that much written on the cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, after diving into the rules, there's actually a lot of exciting things they've got in there. But that's almost a whole nother episode. So
yeah, we could easily make it one. It actually probably be pretty interesting.
Yeah. Look, it'll all depend on how long we're stuck apart from each other, Shane.
True.
across the borders.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we keep these pretty regular because A, we're excited about the game, but B, for you guys who actually like this series, we want to make sure we're pumping out some stuff for you.
Yeah,
so
but it's got to be interesting as well. Like, we don't want to just release an episode for the sake of it. That's probably why it's taken so long for us to put this together because, like, we've been wanting to release something for it for so long, but we just haven't felt like we've had anything worthwhile to contribute. And, I mean, all this episode really is just a recap of what we want to do. Not much has really changed. But just reminding you guys that this is a thing where, we are still getting around it. And just keep an eye out. We've got some stuff coming.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We're excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm staring at my models now. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I just want to end the episode and paint these bitches now. See you, Shane. It's been good. But yeah, we'll keep you in the loop. We'll keep doing these. It'll change. The dynamic of what we wanted to do with this series has changed, but we're still doing it. We're still pumping it out. We're still froth test of honor. So
yeah. How's yeah, dude? Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We keep an eye out on the Discord. Join the Discord if you haven't already. You'll see us with our progress. We'll have some videos coming, hopefully sooner rather than later. Make sure you check out hobbyhomies.com. Check out our YouTube channel as well. Jump on there. And it's been a while, but check out Churchy. He's streaming on Twitch now too. He's got dank internet at home. He's not living off dial-up, I think he was on. So
yeah, legit.
Get
basically
around that.
dial-up.
Yeah, even probably before dial-up, I think he still had.
Yeah, whatever that was.
Yeah,
they
don't even know.
They only made it for his one connection. He was like the test run, and they're like, I think we can double these speeds and do dial-up.
Yeah.
And he's just been on that ever since.
They forgot about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so I tuned in for his stream the other day, and his Twitch is, I think, twitch.tv/Churchy Plays.
Yeah.
Or is it Churchy_Plays?
It might be that one. It's one of them.
It's check it. Go to Churchy Plays. You'll know.
You'll know.
I think it's Churchy_Plays though.
I feel like that's it. Yeah.
And for those of you who are new, we normally record these episodes in a studio, and our mate Churchy is the sound guy. However, again, he's in a different zone altogether, in a faraway land, and we can't get in the studio. So, but he's still a good mate of us, and we like to support what he does. So, yeah,
exactly.
Jump on there.
Hells yeah.
Get around his content too.
Yeah. And a massive thank you to our patrons who help us produce these Journey Into series. You know, thanks to them, we've been able to buy a whole bunch of terrain for our board, which will get made one day. And it also keeps the lights on, helps us releasing these episodes, pays for upkeep, website, all that sort of stuff. Does cost money, believe it or not.
Yeah. Believe it. It was a surprise to us. We're like, hey, let's start a podcast.
Yeah.
How hard can it be? Turns out, cost a bit of money.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you want a logo made? $150. Thank you. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Shit.
Okay. All right. I mean, I've got a kid. I got to feed this kid, but I mean, it doesn't have to eat this week. It's got it's got some fat on it.
Got some
It'll
baby
digest
blubber.
that.
That's right.
We're like, now we got to record in Discord. They're like, well, that's going to be over $100 a year. We're like, oh, that's good too. That's
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, figuratively, they keep the lights on. We don't actually need lights. That's probably the only utility we don't require. But everything else.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Patreons.
Yeah, so massive shout out to Final Dinosaur. He is our Belgium representative, repping the Hobby Homies over in Belgium. Foggy Highway, our wise old wargamer who's been around the traps. He knows his stuff from... he's the one frothing Test of Honor.
Yeah.
Churchy, he's the third member of our little love triangle. It's not just Fox and I. We'd have a threesome going on.
Yeah, at all times.
Got Dave, the organizer of the 40K League and the GTO, and also a huge friend of the show. Rory, the wettest wet pallet discoverer. Thanks to him, keeping our wet pallets wet.
That's, I mean, every paint we put on the models is indirectly Rory's victory as well. So thank you, Rory.
Yeah.
We've also got Caitlin, the lover of all things Shane. We've got Arkham Leper, host of the TCG podcast and valued hobby homie. We've got Whack the Ewok, who is the painter of the most beautiful Harlequin jet bikes that I've ever seen. And also the owner of Board Games for the Board, which is where we get our board games. In fact, that's where we've got our current giveaway.
Oh, shit.
The Pandemic board game. We got that from Board Games for the Board.
Yep.
So thank you, Whack. We've got Joe, a wargamer of the PC variety. He has been dropping frags and dropping pants since the 1990s. And we've got Lethal, who the force is strong with him, and he is strong in general. He's just a strong lad.
He's a strong boy.
He's a strong boy. Stronks.
Yeah.
So those are our patrons.
Yeah.
They keep us going.
That's it. And next week we're hitting an RPG episode.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, we haven't done one of those in yonks.
Ever. I don't think we've ever done one, man. Because you've got the Root RPG.
I do, which you and I have played a total of once. But
yep.
unlike Test of Honor, that's the kind of game we can play remotely.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I've been brushing up on the rules for that as well. So I may confuse Test of Honor rules and Root the RPG rules in a beautiful blend of whatever that ends up being.
Oh,
but
who knows?
Who knows? So we'll try and have a bit of a bash with that, and yeah, that'll be our RPG episode. We'll hit all things RPG. Might not just be Root. Could be some other things, some other nuggets in there.
Yeah.
See how we go.
The lads in the Discord have been hitting a lot of RPGs lately, like D&D and also Rogue Trader, which is basically a 40k version of D&D. So maybe we can suss that out and chat about that too.
Yeah, that'll be good.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you. May your sword strike true and your hobby hard be blue.
Nice try, dude.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Later.
Hooroo.